Hello there, this is Master Daniel 96, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing Spider-Man No Way Home, and there'll be spoilers in this video. For those who haven't seen the movie, click off this video and come back after you see the movie, and for those who've seen it, definitely watch the video. And how I'll do the review is, I'll give you like a summary, like kind of give you what the plot is of the movie and all that. It won't be scene by scene, but just kind of like an overview of the movie and all that stuff, and then I'll give you like my thoughts near the end. So let's get to it. So Spider-Man No Way Home is the third MCU Spider-Man movie, and this is directed by John Watts, who did the other two MCU version movies like Homecoming and Far From Home. So same director as the other two MCU Spider-Man movies. And so you have that bit there, and it takes place after Far From Home, like with the post-credit scene, which it builds off of, because at the end of that movie, Mysterio reveals that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So you have that bit there where everyone knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and then kind of like everyone, like the cops and all them, are after him, and then you have J. Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons, who played him in the Raimi films, and then the post-credit scene from Far From Home, and now this movie. So definitely, J.K. Simmons is the definitive J. Jonah Jameson, and he nails it, just like he did in the Raimi films, just like the Far From Home post-credit scene. And this movie, he's the guy for the role of J. Jonah Jameson. So you can't replace that guy. So that's that there. And then you have like pretty much, where like kids at his school knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and his teachers even know and all that stuff. So you have that there. Then like you have him talking kind of with like the police and all that, like for investigation and all that. And then you have like Aunt May and all his friends and all that, like talking with them for like his defense. Then you have him talk with Matt Murdock, which is Daredevil, and it's the same actor, who plays him in the Netflix series, but he doesn't suit up as Daredevil. So there is, some stuff for the future, like, future movie or something. Like maybe this can be like one of the movies in the second Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. So maybe we could see a Spider-Man and Daredevil movie. I think would be pretty cool, in my opinion. Like, that's like a discussion for another time. So, and pretty much, Matt Murdock has a cameo in this. He doesn't play a major role. So, definitely that's one of the rumors that is true. And I'll get to the other stuff later, the stuff you want me to talk about, which we will get to that. So, you have that bit there. And then he goes, like he pretty much gets rejected from MIT because of his actions. Then he wants, to go to Doctor Strange, because he wants Doctor Strange to cast the spell to make everyone forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So you have that bit there. And that's like pretty much the plot of the movie. And then like he pretty much, tampers with the spell. And then that's like how the multiverse thing comes into, like with all the villains from the San Raimi trilogy and the Chasm duology. So you have that bit there. And then we have, the bit with him with Doc Ock, and then Doc Ock says, oh, he's not Peter Parker because it's not the Peter Parker he recognizes, because he would recognize the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man because he's from that universe. And then, we have the Green Goblin in this, and he's the main villain. And then, we have, the Sandman from Spider-Man 3, and then you have, the Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And Electro, when he lights up, you'll see him more with the 616 look. Not in costume, but when he lights up, like later on in the movie, you'll see him lighting up more with the 616 look. As in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, he has more of the Ultimate Spider-Man look. As you see, just want to give you more of that. And then pretty much the Amazing Spider-Man movies are more influenced by the Ultimate comics, and that's probably why like Jamie Foxx's Electro was more blue in that movie compared to this. So I just wanted to have that more for this as well. And I'll get to the Venom bit later. And I know like people wanted to know, like, would there be a sixth villain in this movie? So there is no Sinister Six in this movie. It is 5 villains in this movie, not 6. So that's pretty much it. And it was pretty much, confirmed in the coming, like, months and weeks that it would be 5 villains instead of 6. And then, so that's that there. And yeah, so you pretty much have that. Then we have a bit with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and then there's a bit where they're in some like dimension, and then like Spider-Man slash Peter Parker manages to get the box off of Doctor Strange, and then a ring from Doctor Strange where he does all the spells and stuff. So you have that bit there, and then he gives the box to Ned and MJ, and then another part of this movie is they plan to cure the villains and all that, so he kind of brings them all to where he's living and all, and then pretty much, we see like Peter and Norman, getting a chip on for Octavius, like, pretty much the chip that got fried in Spider-Man 2 at the demonstration, so Octavius has a new chip where he can control the arms instead of the arms controlling him, so you have that bit there, and then we kind of have a bit where Electro gets a bit of like Tony Stark's, chest plate as Iron Man for his Electro stuff and all that, and then Lizard is in some like a back of a van and all that, and that there's a bit, where the villains all go to chaos and all, and then we have the Green Goblin going insane with it, and so we have a fight, with Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. And then Aunt May dies, and then we have, Peter in a depression after Aunt May dies. And then we have, like, pretty much where Ned and MJ have the ring in the box. And then Ned is the one who brings Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man to the MCU universe. First, he brings Andrew Garfield through the Doctor Strange portal from the Amazing Spider-Man universe to the MCU universe. And then he brings in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man from the Raimi universe to the MCU universe through the Doctor Strange portal, and that's how Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appear in this movie. And then Ned and MJ brings Tobey and Andrew's versions to Tom Holland's version to have a talk, and then we have a thing with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, where Tobey says about the thing with Uncle Ben, when he lost Uncle Ben, and then we have Andrew Garfield saying about how he lost Gwen Stacy, and he also brings up when he lost Uncle Ben as well, and then we have the bit with great power comes great responsibility in there, so we have that bit there, and then we could see them all in the science lab, bringing up all the plans to cure the villains and all, and then all the different things is where Tobey develops the cure for the Green Goblin, and then Andrew Garfield develops a cure for the Lizard and all, so we have that bit there. And then we have the bit, for them to like cure Electro as well and all that, and the Sandman and all that stuff. And so that's that bit there, and then we see the fight with them on the near the Statue of Liberty and all. So we have a fight with the villains with like with the 3 Spider-Men versus the Sandman, Electro, and Lizard, so we have that bit there. And then there's a bit before the fight, which I thought was pretty interesting on how they talked about, like, as Tom Holland's version asks, have they ever faced any, like, weird villains? And then Andrew Garfield brings up, like, when he fought the Rhino, which is the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then Tobey Maguire's version brings up when he faced Venom, and then Tom Holland's version brings up when he fought, Thanos in Infinity War, and I thought that was a pretty nice thing there. And then they ask, about Tobey, because Tobey Maguire doesn't have web shooters. All the web shoots out of his wrists, because how Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, they use the web shooters. They don't have organic webbing like Tobey does. So I thought that was pretty nice as well. And then there's a bit, at the end where Tom Holland's version is fighting the Green Goblin. And man, he's just going insane on the Green Goblin. He's just like beating the living shit out of him. It is insane. And then, like with rage, and then like he gets the Green Goblin's glider, and then he like tries to stab him. And then Tobey stops him, and then like the Green Goblin, stabs Toby in the back. But I was like, oh no. But in the end, Toby Maguire lives, and then like he's wrapping his arm around Andrew Garfield, and then so I mean definitely Toby lives. So we're good there. So it's all good there, and all three Spider-Men do live in this movie, and all. And then so you have that bit there, and then at the end, the villains and the other two Spider-Man go back to their universes, and everyone forgets Peter Parker is Spider-Man and all. And then we have Tom Holland's version moving into an apartment and stuff and all, and then he makes a new suit, and it's pretty much like a suit that like Toby and Andrew would make. It's not all the high tech things as he would have with all the Iron Man tech and all. It's kind of good. He's now finally getting a more the spandex, like the traditional Spider-Man suit. I thought was pretty cool. And then we have a good final swing at the end of the movie with him in the snow. I definitely like that, and it's definitely up there with the final swing in like the first two Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. It's definitely up there with those two as well. And I definitely did enjoy the movie. And with the Venom part, that is the post-credit scene and all, so that's that bit there. And then pretty much Eddie Brock goes back to his universe, it looks like. So maybe we see Tom Holland in Venom 3, or maybe Tom Hardy's Venom comes into the second MCU Spider-Man trilogy. We'll just have to wait and see. So definitely the possibilities are open. And hopefully with Toby and Andrew being back, it's finally time for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 to see the light of day, and Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man 3 to see the light of day, which I have a petition, which I'll link down below. So definitely sign and share that petition and share it all over social media. And yeah, I definitely did enjoy the movie, and it gets a 8.5 out of 10 if I had to give it a rating, and I definitely would recommend the movie. And it's definitely, a love letter to Spider-Man fans, and it is fan service done right, in my opinion. And yeah, definitely I would highly recommend seeing this movie, and it's definitely one of the best MCU movies. And it's my third favorite Spider-Man movie. Like, I mean, my first favorite is, the second Sam Raimi movie, then the first Sam Raimi movie, then this movie, then Spider-Man 3, then The Amazing Spider-Man 1. So that's like my top 5 Spider-Man movies. And yeah, that does it for me in this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. Did you like this movie, not like this movie? Let me know your thoughts down below. And share this video, tell your friends to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, DanRCity7, Instagram, JamMasterDaniel96, Facebook, JamMasterDaniel96, and have a great day. Bye.